Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 1. Now I don't start reviews like this very often, this is usually reserved for Uncle Robo's story time. I just wanted to point something out before getting into the meat and potatoes of the review. I found Lord Zedd at Walmart a couple weeks ago, and I was waiting on my Hasbro Pulse order of the other three. When I originally ordered these, it was to get the premium Pulse or whatever it is to get free shipping on the website. I ordered all three of the Rangers together. Zedd was already sold out, but Hasbro, why are you sending these in individual boxes when it's all one order? 3 separate boxes. I'm hearing people ordering the Marvel Legends X-Men Caliban wave, the whole wave at the same time, and they're getting 7. Are there 7 figures in that wave? However many figures in individual boxes. Now these are big, heavy boxes. It's nicely protected. It feels like there's some protection inside. Not a lot, but more than Walmart, I guess. To pay FedEx shipping 3 times here, 7 times when you order Marvel Legends, Hasbro, you gotta look at Pulse and see what's going on over there. Now, like I said in the disclaimer, I don't know a lot about Power Rangers. I know of them, but at that point in the mid-90s when they first started, I think it was the mid-90s, that's when I remember first seeing them. I was working a crappy pizza delivery job. Well, I say crappy, there were some good times in there. But at that point, I was trying to leave childish things behind. I was trying to be an adult. Now, 20 to 25 years later, I'm a middle-aged man playing with toys on the internet. Oh, how things change. But looking at the packages on these, I really like this look. It's kind of that Marvel Legends just box. It's fairly simple. It's got the window. It shows most of what comes in the package, but I really like this box art on the side. It shows the character, but it's stylized and it carries around to the side of the box. That's even cooler. I really like that. On the back, you get the promotional shots of the figures. You get the warnings down here in several languages. You come back to that stylized art on the side. On the top, each character has their color scheme. And then on the bottom, you get all the legalese. But for the first character, you know what? What made me buy this line is the SPD Shadow Ranger. And I'll tell you why once I get this open. Don't do drugs, kids. One thing I noticed, as much as I love this box, there's no bio on the back for the character. It doesn't tell what the sword is called or what this energy effect thing, if it's another power, any kind of background. So more research is required, but have I ever been known to do research? I just like cool toys. And looking at the overall figure, this is, I can't help it. It is a cool toy. When you first look at it, it looks a little bit basic, especially down here in the legs, the hips. And I think that's because besides Star Wars, most of the action figures I collect are big and muscly and just bulgy. So getting a figure that's more down to earth in kind of, well, it's not standard clothing, but underneath it kind of looks like just a basic bodysuit. And you know what? I'm okay with that because Hasbro's done a good job of actually adding other layers on top of it to give it that Power Ranger look. These shin guards down here, well, knee pad, shin guard, it's a separate piece, so it slides up and down. 1, it slides down to get it out of the way of knee articulation, and 2, it slides up to get out of the way of ankle articulation. Or if you know nothing about Power Rangers and you're buying these for fodder, you can take those off. The chest overlay also works really well, but it doesn't have any kind of tabs or anything to take it off. You have to actually cut this booger off. The belt's also left floating right here, up and down, gets out of the way of either the waist, the hips, or the torso. I feel like even with all the separate parts on here, Hasbro did a good job of making it one cohesive figure. Now there is some added articulation here, something we don't really see with Marvel Legends from Hasbro, but I wanted to point out the butterfly joint in the shoulder. It goes forward and back, but it's cut way back up in there on top, and I think that is to accommodate this sculpted piece on the shoulder. Bring it up and it kind of goes into that cutout there so you can get full range of up motion to the hinge. One thing I do notice, and this is the first one I've pulled out, I haven't got all the figures out yet, but at least on this one, the detents in certain places are inconsistent. On the right side, oh man, they're kind of heavy. On the left side, whoop, 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 whoop. If you have a heavy weapon in his hand, it may fall down because of it being looser than this side, but it's not going to fall down just under just regular play. But I do like the little added sculpted details here and there. Going over articulation, there is a hinge at the top of the neck going up into a ball in the skull. You can pull that off, see that. But because how the helmet is sculpted so tight around the neck, you get down, you get up, it kind of crashes into the collar on this overlay piece. But the tightness causes no tilt whatsoever. You just get a swivel out of that. Talked about the shoulders. They are a butterfly joint going forward and back. Hinge and swivel at the shoulder. Comes up, rotates around, swivel at the bicep. Double elbow, you got to kind of kick the bicep one first and then kick this up. But because of the sculpt right here, it crashes into the bicep. Even though it's not a big muscly bicep, there's still some crashing going on. Hinge, swivel. The torso is also something we don't see from other Hasbro figures. Well, I haven't opened my Overwatch figures. I don't know what's going on there, but this is my first foray into this new torso articulation. But there's a ball joint at the top, can kick forward, tilt, kicks back, but there's also a hinge down at the bottom. I think this is kind of like what we saw with DC Collectibles Icons line. That just adds a little bit more and a little bit more Ball coming out to the hips, can go all the way forward, back a little bit, runs into the butt sculpt. Out, better than some Marvel Legends we're seeing. Rotation at the thigh. Double knee comes up to about, not quite. If this piece was off here, he'd be kicking his own ass. Hinge at the ankle goes back, pretty heavy detent there, forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker. Another thing I wanted to point out before getting into accessories is the paint job. I've been hearing some people complain about some slop here and there, but for a $20 action figure, at least mine, it is not bad at all. The line's pretty straight coming down through here. The reds are nicely done, the metallic blues. Now for accessories, he has a grip right hand and a pointy grip left hand, and then he has a left fist and a double pointy right hand. Hey, how's it going? Now switching those out, I don't think I've ever seen wrist pegs this long. There's a little mushroom to the end of it, so there is a pop. It does stay up in there, but it's a little bit thin. When I push it in there, it gets kind of whoa, unless you push straight in. So just don't push crooked, I guess. He also comes with this. I have no clue what this is. Is this a Walkman? Is this some kind of data thing? I don't know. But the tampo for SPD is nicely placed on the side, and other than that, it's just a hunk of plastic. He comes with this sword. This thing's pretty badass. A little bit of curve to the blade. The red is nicely applied. The nice sculpt to the dragon head, and then the handle is in black. Comes with a scabbard on the belt right here. Slips right in, goes in, nice and tight, not coming out. And then he can also hold it in his grip hand. And I'm sure this is accurate with the dragon head being on bottom, the tip being like that. In my brain, though, I want that head to be flipped over. I don't know if that's a common complaint for this sword, or if it's more like it's Power Rangers, shut the hell up. Either way, just personal aesthetics, that looks upside down. What do I know, though? It also comes with this effect piece, the swirl, the blue. It looks cool. It doesn't look as clear and watery as the prototype, but this is still pretty nice. And with that, you have to kind of twist it onto the blade. It's tight. So you get around this way and come like that and here. And the good thing about that, even though it's a little bit tight, tight's not bad. It stays on there. It's not going to flop around. And then finally, this is what made me want the Power Rangers line, or at least this figure in the first place. And that's the dog head. I had no clue that this character was actually a dog. When they showed the footage at Toy Fair, I was like, oh, that's weird, that's wacky. I'm gonna have to have that in plastic form. And then it took me a minute to realize what this is. This is actually a neck cover that goes here, and then the dog head pops on top of that. And then it looks like it's transformed all the way down to the body. And with that, you can get forward, you can get back, you get still not a lot of tilt, swivel. It's a nice sculpt. I like the transition from a lighter blue to a darker blue. The eyes kind of look like it's looking to the right, but I'm okay with that. And then the kind of dreaded hair look in the back. And overall, I feel like this looks like the old live-action Scooby-Doo, like he's Scooby-Doo's cousin or something. And then in that movie, Linda Cardellini played Velma, who also played Laura Burton, Hawkeye's wife, in the Avengers movies. So you know what that means. Power Rangers confirmed for MCU. Next up, let's take a look at the Dino Charge Red Ranger. And my first thought is, man, this fits really well with the Shadow Ranger in its same aesthetic. So I'm not saying that Hasbro was going to do each figure in a different style, but it's very cohesive across the line so far. Also, there's not as much reuse as I thought across the line. In fact, this shares no parts with the other figure. You have this dino sculpt to the arms right here, and not as much paint as I thought there would be. It'd be nice with a wash in there. But then on the torso, these lines are actually sculpted, and it comes up across. It's more open to accommodate the shoulder pad and whatever this design thing is. Going back to Shadow Ranger for a minute, the leg strap right here is sculpted, and that's missing from the Red Ranger here. But he does have these shin rings that are sculpted. Are they sculpted? Yeah, they're part of the sculpt there. But the cool thing about the Red Ranger here is you get to see the actual articulation at work here. There's no overlays to get in the way from what you're actually doing. And I say get in the way, they don't actually get in the way over here. they're actually nice. So remember that. It just fits all together really, really nicely. Like a regular dude, well, except for the skin on the arms right there. Regular dude in a ranger costume. Same articulation scheme. There is a hinge with a get your head off that thing ball at the top going into the skull. But once again, very tight there. So it comes down, can bury the chin, looks up, no collar to get in the way this time around. Well, maybe a little bit of tilt, but it's mostly swivel. Forward and back butterfly joints to the arms. Hinge and swivel at the shoulder. Heavy detents again right here. So when you're pushing up, be careful not to just take the arm and push up, because small peg right there at the bicep, which does rotate. Oh, you know what? It's not his skin. There's clothing wrinkles right there. Look at that. I'm discovering stuff as I go. Probably stuff that if you watched the show, you already know that. I can't get his arm to go back down. Oh, okay. Bring it up to the top, snap in, and then rotate it down, and you'll get the arm all the way down. Double elbows comes up. Well, let's get full range right there. The ring right here does get in the way a little bit, but you get a little bit more range than the Shadow Ranger. I keep wanting to say Shadow Trooper. Shut up. Swivel. Hinge. Same setup in the torso right here, but we see it a lot better without the overlay coming down over it. You can get forward, you can get back. Nice tilt. Nice tilt. And then with the hinge at the bottom, goes all the way and then arcs all the way back. Ball at the hip, forward, back, out. Very tight swivel at the thigh. Double knee. Not quite. Oh, wait. Boop. Hinge at the ankle. Again, very tight. Uh-oh, it's so tight that you can see the white right there where the peg's trying to shear off. Oh, I got it forward. Can I go back now? Oh, there we go. Yep, just be very careful with that. And then forward-facing pin for rocker. Same on the left. Let's see if I can break this damn thing, I guess. For accessories, he comes with this blaster. It seems a little bit muddy. It's just the black across the top of a yellow here. So there's a lot of nice sculpt to it. Well, there's some black stripes over here. Black dot right there. Nice sculpting, but it's kind of lost in the yellow. And they have that in his left hand right there. And he's got kind of a double trigger finger going on the left hand. And once you get it in, it looks okay. The double trigger fingers don't really fit in the trigger guard, but it's close enough. And then he comes with this sword, the matching yellow that goes over to the gun. This kind of tech detail right here. Looking again, the right hand seems to have a single trigger finger, and that may work better in the long run for the gun. Yep, that does work better, even though he kind of holds it gunslinger style. I said draw, mister! Although putting the sword in the left hand, that looks kind of odd. There's nothing really for the... Oh, wait, look at that! I'm a genius! And then like Shadow Ranger, there's also an electric piece that goes on the sword. You have to kind of weave it in there, around, coming back and through and there and right there. And again, that looks good because of the weaving. It's not going to fall off. I like it. Forgot to mention the hands. Single trigger finger hand. We've already discovered that. Double trigger finger hand on the left. But then he comes with a flat hand for the left and then a closed fist for the right. Open palm or closed fist. And then finally he comes with an unmasked head. Not the most pleasant of expressions. I do like the hair sculpt. The sculpt itself, I think it's the plastic sheen. I think that's what's throwing me off. That and the lip paint kind of missing the lips. I don't know. It looks a little bit puffy. But in my case, it helps that I don't know what the actual actor looked like back when this role was going on. So to me, it's just an anonymous unmasked head that, I don't know, it feels like... it could be a little bit better. Next up, the mighty Morphin White Ranger. And with this, if there was any Ranger I was most familiar with, or any iteration of the Rangers, it would be this one. And looking at it overall, the white is striking. The gold really stands out. It feels... I hate to say this, this feels a little bit more premium than the other two I've already looked at. At least the Red Ranger. I have the sculpted ring right here, the same for the bracers. The big difference to me is the belt seems to be, it seems like a separate piece, but it's actually sculpted into, or it's sandwiched between the torso and the crotch piece. That's way different than the floating belt pieces we see on the other two figures. The sculpted top of the boots right here. The torso overlay, nice rubbery material. It moves and flexes to get out of the way when you need it to get out of the way. But again, if you're taking it off, you're gonna have to cut it off. But it works really well with the overall body. Shadow Ranger, because of the metallic blue, feels a little bit more poppy than the Red Ranger so far. But that gold, look at that. Left shoulder hinge seems to be stuck into... There we go. Heavy ass detents. Oh, come on, baby. Hold together. And then on the right, there is detents. A little bit more smoother though. Going over articulation, there's the old hinge and ball at the top of the neck, but because it's a little bit more open underneath, you can see gap around it. You do get some tilt out of this helmet. Down, up, that same butterfly joint forward and back at the shoulder. Arm up, rotates around, and watch the overlay. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow, you got to kind of manipulate it up and around. Comes all the way up, better than the other two. Hinge, swivel, ball joint mid-torso, side, side, forward, back, and then the hinge at the bottom comes all the way forward, goes all the way back. Ball hip comes forward, back, out, swivel at the thigh, double knee all the way up, ba-bam. Rotation at the boot, and I forgot, and I actually didn't see it, it's really well hidden behind this ring. On the Red Ranger, there's also rotation. Discovering this helped me discover that, so thank you, White Ranger. Hinge at the ankle, goes back, goes forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker. Going through the articulation just now, looking at the body, I really feel like this was sculpted earlier than the rest of them. Just the overall design feels preliminary, but it also works better. How does that work? I don't know. For accessories, you have a double trigger finger on the right, a flat palm on the left. I don't want to pull that out. That actually feels like it's stretching. How does the left feel? I get it to there, and it doesn't want to come out any further, and the thinness of the peg, I'm sure it comes out. I'm just being scaredy cat about it right now. But I really, okay. It does come out. It just takes a little bit more force than the other two. Then he comes with a left fist and also a right fist, but I want to keep this in because I want to play with the sword. And look at the sword. There's a lot of nice paintwork on here. You have the silver on the tip, the gold. I think it's cast in white, and then more gold, more silver. It's just an overall nice looking piece. But man, the handle is thick. You got to get the hand stretched open and then get it in there, and then get it in there before it wants to close back up. Top of that, it's not the greatest of grip, but it works. It stays in his hand. Also, it comes with this effect piece. At first, you think, what the hell is this? And then you realize, well, let me find it again. You realize that there is a cutout right there that perfectly fits the tip of the sword. So I guess it kind of goes like that. I don't know what that does. Again, I'm a Power Ranger noob. But then you also get an unmasked head, and is this Tommy? I think I see this dude at a lot of comic conventions. But I feel like this head is a little bit better than the other. It's still a little bit shiny. It still looks a little bit off. But I like the overall sculpt, and I especially like the ponytail. It just really works here. But comparing it to the SH Figure Arts over here, which I just happen to have, somebody sent me a review sample, it's not quite as good as the import, but at the same time, it's not terrible. And then I forgot to mention there is a holster for the sword on his hip. And then finally there is Lord Zedd. And as much as I like the Shadow Ranger's dog head, I think this appeals to me a little bit more because even though I don't know Power Rangers, I'm always down for a monster type figure. And that's really what this looks like. Just the red, the overlay skeleton, these hose pieces. This could work as, well, yeah, it's undeniably Power Rangers, don't get me wrong. But again, if you were customizing, you wanted a big monster figure, this would make a nice base. And Hasbro put some tender, loving care into this figure. Obviously, it's 100% new sculpt. In fact, I don't think any of these parts are shared between these four figures, but it's most obvious here. The overlay skeletal look of all this metal is just nicely done. I've seen some guys come in with the chrome pen and chrome it up and it looks nice, but a $20 figure out of the package, this works. One of the things that jump out at me here is this silver part right here is part of the thigh sculpt, but it extends up over the hip part even at the swivel right there. So when you swivel it, it moves, but it's well hidden because of this extra piece coming up. Well, extra piece. It's the actual thigh coming up and over. Also, these hoses are a nice clear material. I'm not sure what they're supposed to look like, but they work in not getting in the way of any kind of poses you want to put him in. Don't get me wrong, you can get them to stretch, but they pretty much go the maximum distance of the action figure's range of movement. I'd like to see a little bit more paintwork. They did put some shading to the body. I wish that kind of carried over into this exposed brain on top, just to give it some ooey gooey, maybe some shine up here, just to make it a little bit grosser. Like I said, this is part of the sculpt right here, but you can see kind of a break there. It's not noticeable if you're just looking at it as a figure, but once you get up on it, these are actually rubbery pieces added on to kind of continue that look, but also not breaking up articulation there. It's also the same down here at the ankles, comes down to here, and rubbery parts to cover it up. Sure, I have some complaints, but man, there's some nifty stuff just going on overall right here. This is also a transition from sculpt in the body to this rubbery piece attached right here. It gets out of the way of articulation. Just a lot of thought put into this. Going over articulation, there's your hinge at the top of the neck going into a ball in the skull. There's some movement forward and back because they left some room for movement up in there. That also allows for a little bit of tilt, down, up, rotation, forward and back butterfly joint at the shoulder. Rotates up and around, but you get to about right there. That's where it starts pulling on that hose and on this hose. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow, unfortunately, bulky guy doesn't go past that. Hinge, swivel. Really nice movement at the ball joint in the mid-torso. Goes back, goes forward, tilt, tilt. Look at how much tilt that gets. And then again, the hinge in the abs. So all the way forward, all the way back. Man, I want to see that in some Marvel Legends. They need to start transitioning this into their other lines. Ball at the hip comes forward, back, out. Swivel at the thigh, again, nicely hidden by this extra piece up here. Getting rowdy with it, this came out and I realized that's actually blue tubing too. That's why that's more rubbery, is that's part of this sculpt. Oh, and it goes all the way down here. Again, very well thought out by Hasbro. Double knee, lot happening in this area, so you're not gonna get past this point. Tied ankle, again, on the right. I need to do something to loosen that up, but on the left, you can see it gets out of the way of itself and you can come all the way back, forward a little bit, and then forward facing pin for rocker. For accessories, Zedd comes with a grip hand over here, kind of a splayed out hand over here. When you pull the hand out to change it out, this is also a separate piece with the hoses. That is so cool. He comes with another right hand that matches that splayed out left hand, and then he comes with a left fist. And I left that left hand in there to show off his, I don't know what this is. Is it a grenade? Is it a smoke bomb? I don't know, but it does go nicely in that splayed out hand. It's not locked in there, but the grip is tight enough to keep holding it. And then it comes with his staff. It's got a point on the end down here. It's got a Z at the top. I've seen people chrome this online and it looks super sweet like that, but like this out of the package, well, actually it doesn't match the rest of his body. This could be a little bit more silver, I feel like. He holds it nicely in that grip hand, and then it comes with this red electricity effect that you kind of, I'm not quite sure how it works, but something like this, maybe? Not as tight as what we saw with the Shadow Ranger or the Red Ranger, but once you get it in place, you stay up there. It adds a little pizzazz to his staff. For size comparison, here is Wave 1 altogether. Lord Zedd's not as big as I thought he was. Even before I put him next to the others, I thought, oh, this is a big figure. Getting them all lined up, not as big. And then the Shadow Ranger is taller than I thought he would be. But between the White Ranger and the Red Ranger, there's a consistency there in size. So overall, the line fits together within itself. But for comparison with other lines, here is the Marvel Legends comic book Black Panther, the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper, the Hasbro Marvel Legends Avengers Infinity War Captain America, the NECA 1990 movie TMNT Donatello, the Hasbro Marvel Legends comic book Captain America, and then the Bandai SH Figuarts White Ranger. Yeah, these aren't going to work with your imports. So at the end of the day, good toys are good toys. What else can I say? Coming from me, who has no clue about Power Rangers, I don't know how many times I can say that. Someone like me, who just can appreciate the designs based solely on the action figures of these characters, I feel like Hasbro's knocked it out of the park. They've made something that I wasn't interested in the first place interesting. There's nothing wrong with that. Sure, there's a couple of problems. Some detents are a little bit heavy, some detents are a little bit loose, but the biggie for me is the wrist joints. I'd like to see those a little bit thicker, a little bit more substantial. When I'm pulling, I don't want to feel like, ooh, I'm about to break this off. But other than that, man, the butterflies at the shoulders, the added articulation in the torso, the overall looks here, they just did a fantastic job. I got into it because of the dog head on Shadow Ranger, but Zedd is an amazing figure. Just the overall look, it makes me interested in his backstory. The White Ranger, a little bit better quality than the rest. It just makes it a fun action figure. And then the Red Ranger's just along for the ride. That's not me saying anything about this iteration of the Power Rangers. It just feels like the other three are a little bit higher up on the pedestal, but I'm not going to complain about the Red Ranger being here. So buy some toys, learn about some Power Rangers, or if you're a Power Rangers fan, this should make you fairly happy. If you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.